this might be a long shot, but for the past year, I've been thinking about the possibility that we're living the life that we have once wished for in the exact way that we've once wished for it. So to elaborate on that, because it's 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 like a little bit of a broad topic that a lot of people can understand it from different angles. I would take myself an example here as well. So once upon a time, years ago in my life, when you were listening to those motivational speakers and somebody's telling their story and this and so on, something in me wished that I would have a hard life, a life filled with hardships and many challenges, which I'm going to conquer all of them and become a stronger person, a more disciplined human being. And then one day I will be able to tell my story on television, I don't know, in a book or whatever, and change the lives of many people, hopefully. And then exactly. So when I was thinking about that not long ago, it came to me that maybe something similar could be happening to all of us. That at some point in our lives, we wished for a certain life so hard, backed up with so many emotions and such huge desires. And then at some point we forgot about it, of course. But that wish, that life that we wanted, that we wished upon ourselves, we kind of made it a reality and manifested that. And then through our lives, with the micro decisions that we make, all the this and this that we do are leading to that life that we've wished once for.
I have two things to say here. First of all, I agree with you from my own subjective experience because the things I remember about myself that I've always wanted to, maybe because I grew up in a village, I've always wanted to be also living, like I've watched a lot of cartoons where you have these houses that look similar to each other in a small town somewhere. And I've always liked these TV shows where it's something happening, a horror story or something happening in a small town. So I've always been drawn to this like small town vibes. And the past 10 years, I've basically been moving from one small town to the next, even though
You would love to be in a big city.
exactly,
You're a
but
big city guy.
somehow I'm still drawn to these small towns. And the more I grow up, the more I feel like that's actually where I belong. But at the same time, I've always liked the idea that you create something that would maybe inspire other people or people would just find interesting. And in some shape or form, I'm just been drawn to that creativity, to that creation. So now we're doing this podcast, I'm doing my YouTube channel. So in some sense, this is true also for me, but I feel like this is not necessarily universal because I'm sure there are individuals who have a really big flame inside of them. They have dreams, but the opportunity doesn't come because of circumstances.
Sure.
know?
So right now, I'm not talking like I would call, because you can also say the same about people who, well, let's say, been abused, and they've been abused since like when they're young, children abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, physical abuse, whatever it is. I'm pretty certain that these people haven't wished upon it themselves. That, well, hey, I'm a child, I would love to be abused. That's not something that happens. So I'm pretty sure that there's a minority of people, like a small number of people, in comparison to a bigger picture, that have either life or external sources have changed that in them or have done something to them, or that they're limited because of, well, the situation they're in or this or that. You know what I mean? But the majority of people, I feel like, for the average person at least, which average person here for me in this situation especially means someone who hasn't been abused as a child or is not living in an extreme poor country where
this is important. I feel like because we can say this about the majority of people, but I'm sure somebody would be listening from some third world country or some place where they say, hey, I had all of these dreams, but I just never got the opportunity to actually actualize them in somehow.
Sure, but okay, now here, like at this with this specific example, there's many factors at hand.
Sure.
There's the factors of like what kind of third country you're living in. Because most third countries nowadays, if you actually try, you can get out of there, or you can build a life for yourself.
This is also something I wanted to add, that even this minority of people, a lot of them, if they try harder, they can find some way. But I'm sure there are certain individuals where actually life just never gave them the opportunity.
Exactly. Those people I would call them the minority. I would put them out of the equation of the average, out of the exception. So just to bring another example here as well, to clarify a little bit on what I'm trying to aim for here with this podcast, is that I've mentioned that, but I wanted to have like a life full of hardships and to have a better understanding for a lot of things.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that that was the beginning of it, and a few years later, I started listening to more motivational speakers and started reading or learning a little tiny bit about human psychology. And then with time, like many years later, many years later, for my age at the time, that sounds so wrong, but whatever. I got into psychology and I got into philosophy. And, you know, right now I'm at that stage where, like, okay, I'm kind of telling my story on, well, social media. People can watch it. So the manifestation, I feel like, from something that you've wished for can also differ in many different, like, it kind of, it's not a straight line, but it's going to get you started somewhere and then leads you to the next thing. And then from the next thing, I guess that's where, like, your wish kind of, the life that you wish for kind of, it changes a little bit. And then you either deviate a little bit, or you take a detour maybe, or you go in a different direction, or you continue on the path that you've set on. Take over.
But I feel like it doesn't have to be like, sure, you had these different dreams and visions when you were a child, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same. You know, when you reach the point, it's about the essence of it, maybe. Like, as I told you, when it comes to the creativity, because...
But okay, so the difference here is I'm not talking exactly about dreams or visions. I'm talking about a thought, you know, that appears in your mind at some point due to something that happened that ignites something within you that you wish for you wish for a certain life so hard, but then you forget about it, because dreams, they stay with you, you know.
Are you talking about more like a lifestyle, or the type of life you want to live, like how
maybe because so I've had dreams and I still have dreams, you know, but I've never forgotten about my dreams. Maybe they've changed, or maybe something I stopped thinking about as much, or I stopped caring about as much, you know, because I've changed as well. But in the essence, like I'm saying, around the age of 12 or 13, you know, and my dream, even at that point of my life, was to actually be an IT guy. That was, well, what I thought was my dream. But I remember that
thinking something is your dream is not the same as having a dream. Like we're talking about being children who are not necessarily influenced too much by other things.
But like, my dream and my goals when I was young was to be an IT guy, someone who's successful, and by successful I meant I've always thought about money. But then at some point,
that a value that you took from other people at that point?
Yes and no at the same time. Yes and no at the same time. But what I'm trying to go here through is that, like I said, when I at some point, and it was like a very short period of time, like a few days only, where I was going through a hard phase, and I was listening to a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of podcasts, well, not podcasts, but like interviews from back in the days about human life. And I just had that like spark ignite in me. Is like, oh wow, there's people who actually do this kind of things and they help other people. I would wish for myself to be able to be in that position, like to have such stories, to have a hard life, to have hardships and conquer them, and then get to the point where I can spread. I'm a little bit wiser and I can spread that wisdom somewhere.
It's like a moment of inspiration.
Exactly, something like this. And I remember that at that point of my life, I wished so freaking hard for that lifestyle, for that outcome to happen as well. But then, of course, after a few days, like I said, like it was just a few days thingy that just disappeared, and then I just forgot about it, and I just went back to my day-to-day life with the dream of being an IT guy. So it's not about the dream that you have, but it's more like about something that you maybe manifested in a somehow that you called upon. I don't know, something that just you wished for so hard that got stuck in your subconscious mind. And from that point on, a lot of the micro decisions that we make, or at least I made, were perhaps leading me to go through more and more hardships, like kind of self-sabotaging, but it's not really sabotage, just making my life a little tiny bit more harder so I can grow stronger and learn more and more.
So I feel like this is kind of related to when we say that the bad things that happen in your life, or the bad decisions that you made, kind of lead you to the good decisions. Like these things
meant
to happen to lead you to that conclusion that was manifested from the beginning.
Exactly. So it was maybe you who was doing all of this yourself, because you're getting yourself ready for something that's bigger.
Exactly.
You know?
Like something within you decided to take that bad decision in that moment, because that bad decision, which is purely a bad decision, but was just meant to push you in that direction that
Yeah.
you were meant to go
Yeah.
on from the first place, you know? So what do you call that exactly? Like, do you think there's some magical powers behind that, something spiritual,
I
or
think
is it
so.
purely scientific?
I think it's a mix of a lot of things.
Yeah.
I would relate it to manifestation and the way that quantum physics work there.
But how would you describe manifestation for yourself then? What does it mean?
Manifestation described in many different books, for starters, as you having a thought, having a wish that you back up with emotions, and that you start taking action toward that. So you can manifest it. Exactly. So the reason why we're talking about emotions when it comes to manifestation, because once it's like trauma. So what is trauma? What is trauma response? Is an emotional reaction to something that sticks in your subconscious mind, that every time something similar happens, you react in the same way. And I feel like manifestation is something similar, but it's not painful. You know, it's not traumatizing. It's that you have something that you connect a lot of emotions to, that it kind of gets craved into your subconscious mind, that you start making decisions subconsciously that will lead you to that goal.
This kind of brings me to a thought. It's something I read in a book. I don't remember exactly where, but it talks about trauma in general is related to our old brain, which is not the logical brain, I guess. And where when something happened in your childhood, and maybe 20 years later, you smell something, you hear something that triggers that trauma. It's because your old brain doesn't know what the past and future is. It doesn't exist in that frame of mind. So maybe it's the same with manifestation. It's something that inspired you at some point in your life when you were younger, and 20 years later you are there, but you kind of knew that in that moment of time because there is no past and future. So maybe
it's like the brain has like made the assumption, like, okay, you know what, we are, in my case, just an example here, we're standing on a stage, we're telling a story full of hardships, full of pain, that we've conquered and we became wise, and this and this and
it
this.
doesn't care that this will take 20 years or 30
exactly
years. Just
and then the
right
brain, the subconscious mind will be making a lot of decisions for me to get me to that point, as if, you know, that already happened. So I believe that manifestation is something similar. That's why I'm connecting to manifestation. It's like it's something that you've wished upon a long time ago with a lot of emotion, which is also quantum physics. What is quantum physics? Quantum physics is that a particle exists and does not exist at the same time till it's observed. And when it's observed, that particle comes to existence. You know what I mean? And it's the same with those dreams and those ideas and those states as well, that they did not exist. It's like
they existed by your attention.
Look at it like this. You went down from your house. You were going to work. There's three options. Well, there's multiple options, but in that specific case, we're taking three options. You take a cab, you take a bus, you walk. Now, there is three polar worlds. Just imagine that. There's three polar worlds going on at the same time. And the first one, you take a cab. And the second one, you take a bus. And the third one, which the decision that you decided to take, you take a walk. In the bus, something would have happened. In the taxi, something would have happened. And while you're walking, something would have happened. So whatever decision you make, the other worlds are still parallel. They exist and they don't exist at the same time. The only reality that existed at that moment is that the reality that you took a walk to work, to your work, you know? It's the same with those like ideas, dreams, and those lifestyles that you wish for yourself. It's that something that you notice and you observe it, so it kind of comes
it's a
to
path
existence.
You embarked on. It's something.
It's something that it's like I said, like you have these three options and you decided on this option. So the two other worlds in this reality, they don't exist anymore. But there is the potential of them existing. It's quantum physics after all. Sure, we don't know much about quantum physics, and I'm not a physicist here. I don't know much about it. But yeah, I'm just trying to connect some dots here. So bear with me. So when you have a dream, or when you find something and you observe it, or you kind of bring it to life, you give existence to it. So it comes to existence. Now, the idea of you doing this or this is in existence. It exists due to quantum physics. Now, its existence doesn't mean shit, because just an idea. And that's manifestation technically. When you back it up with a lot of emotions, your subconscious mind is going to keep on observing that idea to keep it into existence, and will drive you into taking small decisions every day to get to that possible future that you have observed once upon a time in your life.
I think also at this point it's kind of obvious that our attention is our biggest source of energy. Where you put your attention, whether it's
It is
because it's kind of is also related to manifestation, because you're wishing for that thing and you keep working on it consciously and subconsciously, and it's everything that you're thinking about. So obviously when you're walking on the street, you're gonna hear people mentioning something related to that, or seeing some poster on the street, like all of these things, because your attention is mainly focused on this thing that you want to become your reality. And this is why I feel like people who don't, at least people who have the opportunity but don't actualize their dreams, is because they are being more lazy about it, or like not sure about themselves, not sure that it can be true. They just don't believe enough.
I would, again, emotions. They don't believe enough. Emotions.
True.
Right. I'll take another example from my life. Gym, losing weight. I don't know if you know this, but I've tried to like actually get stuck in the gym for many years, and to be healthier and be on a gym journey, physical healthiness, wellness, for many years. And when I say many years, I'm talking in the span of like plus 10 years approximately. Never worked out for me. I would always do it for a month or two, maybe 3, and then I'm done.
But maybe at that point it wasn't clear to you enough what you wanted.
Exactly. And then the day came a few years ago, once I started with the gym, where I observed the potential me, how my life would be like, and how I would look like, and how my routine would be like. And I liked what I saw. I liked the potential of it. And I had a lot of like, fuck, I want that. This is what I want. And then there was a lot of emotions behind it. And then I don't know how it happened. A lot of people were asking me like, how are you losing weight? How are you changing so fast? I'm like, people, I have no clue myself. It just happened. I just started going to the gym. I wanted to stick with it. My decisions day to day were like about, don't eat this, do eat this, avoid this, do this, don't do that. And day by day, I don't know, a few months passed by, bum. The first, I don't know how many kilos were gone. And that kept on going until I was like, I have no fucking clue how that is working out. Until this day, I realized that, wished exactly to be in this moment a year ago. And now I've got there.
So maybe we can take it in a matter of a few steps how this works. So first, you kind of need to have a clear sight of what you want, or of what exactly do you want here? Like, you imagine your body, for example, it's like that, and this is what you eat. You have a clear, maybe vision is not the right word, but a clear sight, a
clear idea, a clear vision, photo, I don't know, lifestyle, a clear goal. Let's put a goal here, because it's a really broad term. So you need to have a clear goal.
And the second step is basically you're just taking action. It doesn't matter how exactly you start. You have this clear sight and you take action. You wear your shoes and you go to the gym. You don't plan how long you're going to stay, or if you're going to really work out today or not, but you take action. And step number 3 is basically sticking to it.
You know? That's not enough, because you have people who also like, they do the thing, but doing the thing isn't really doing the thing for them. Because you have people who could be going, we're going to take the gym here as an example. You have people who are going to the gym for years, but they're not seeing any results, even though they would love to see results. It's because they're still going.
They don't have a clear sight, kind of.
It's this, and number 2, they don't know why they're doing it. There's no reason to why they're doing it, because they would like to have a little bit more muscle. They would like to be a little bit more healthier, you know? Okay. It's not a specific goal with no emotion backing.
Exactly.
Hold up. It's not specific. It's not backed up by any emotion, and there's no desire. So they're just going to the gym for the sake of going to the gym, for whatever the reason that is. And then I even know people who would go to the gym, they would work out really hard. Like, they would go there and they would push themselves like monsters. But then there's no result. Why? Because the micro decisions they're doing every day after the gym is the opposite of that.
Okay, this is what I wanted to say. I fall in this category. I'm kind of a good example when it comes to the gym. This is where I'm saying that for me, it's multiple things. I don't have too many emotions that's backing it. I know it's something good for me, and I go to the gym and I still see micro results here and there, but I don't have this clear sight about it.
Exactly.
And it's not a priority for me.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So that's why I don't work out so hard. I don't think about it too much. I just go.
Just to clarify things here as well, like it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing that you that you do that.
It's about your priorities.
No, but it's a good thing that you go there. That you still go there and you do it because you know it's good to go there. Exactly.
Do it more. It's for better. The mental.
Better than being like, oh well, I don't have a clear course, so I don't even need to go there. You know.
For me, it's just I like how I feel after it. But this is a good example of when you don't have this clear sight and you are not making that your priority, the things that you're thinking about more often, then of course you're not going to see the same result as someone who is just hyper focused on that thing and it's the only thing they're going
for, exactly.
So
so from here, since our point of views are a little tiny bit different, I would like to know, what if someone is living a life they don't want right now? Like imagine this scenario with me. Someone who wished upon something a long time ago, you know, we're still going with the same idea of manifestation here, and they are manifesting a life, but the life that they're manifesting is a life that they definitely don't want. And how would you go about that in order to kind of change to a life that you would like to have more?
I feel like the biggest thing you gotta watch out for is where are you getting your influences from? Because if you I don't know, you had these dreams and visions and things that you wanted when you were, I don't know, 8, 12, 15, and now you're 30 years old, 35 years old, and you're living the life that you don't want. Check who your friends are. Check what you're doing on social media. What things are you following? What things are you watching? Where are you getting your influences from? What things are inspiring you? Because you might be...
Just an idea to throw there. I'm going to interrupt you for a second. If you want to know the stage that you're in your life, literally just go watch your social media feedback. I'm not even... Just go check your social media feed. Just go to...
consuming.
Just go to TikTok or go to Instagram or maybe go to YouTube and check what kind of reels they're showing you. That will already tell you the kind of life that you have.
Exactly.
If you are someone who is into finance and trying to focus on finance, you're going to see a lot of finance reels in there. If you're someone who's looking, I don't know, like psychology, philosophy, you're going to see a lot of psychology and philosophy there. If you're someone who's just like in a mess, your social media is going to be a mess. You're going to have the first video about this, the second video about this, the third video about this. None of them will be telling you any kind of information that you want. Social media, as much as I hate it, can tell you the stage that you're in right now in your life, and can give you hints about what you could possibly change.
Yeah, sure. That also. So that's when you need to self-reflect and realize, okay, these are the things that I'm being influenced by. What are the things that are aligning to what I actually have always wanted, and what are the things that are taking me on this completely different direction that I don't really want, but somehow I landed here. I thought I wanted to be here, but I never took a conscious decision to land here, you know? And this is a question of free will. And honestly, you don't have to believe in free will or not. You just gotta believe enough that you can take some sort of decision on your own. You have the capacity to think things thoroughly instead of letting things decide themselves for you. And whether that's related to free will or not, whether free will exists or not, it doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that you are able to take different decisions. You just gotta put some more effort into it, I guess. You gotta change your influences because you're gonna get influenced by things one way or another. The quote that I always like, you're the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Like, who are your friends? What do they do? What do you do with them? Are these things actually what you want or not? Also a big factor on how, why did you land where you did and how to change direction. Definitely. And we go back the same, we've talked about this before, the lonely chapter. When you are stuck in that pace and you want to change directions, you're probably going to be on your own for a while. And that's kind of tough. That's why many people revert back to what they were doing because, fuck, I have no friends anymore. I have nobody. So what am I doing here? So yeah, there's a lot of things, I guess, related to this specific issue.
Definitely. So for me, though, I would kind of want to go about it a little bit differently, which is, first of all, you want to literally just sit with yourself in the dark and maybe try to figure out the life that you want to have. Because you want to have a little bit of a vision about where you're going. You know, that you don't need to, sit with yourself in the dark for many years to figure out something. But if you have a small, tiny bit of a hint, a small hint that says, I want this more than this, a small hint, just go toward that. start walking toward that, start having that as a part of the vision. It's like a piece of the puzzle that you've got, and you start walking toward it. And as you're walking toward that first piece of the puzzle to acquire it, you're gonna see more, you're gonna have more hints, and then you start collecting more hints, and then you start kind of putting a piece of puzzle together, and then you have a little bit of a clearer vision, either about the life that you want to have or the life that you think you should be living. And once you have a little bit more of a clearer vision, you can start working toward getting to that life that you want.
You got to start somewhere. And I feel like you mentioned something that I forgot to mention, which is very simple, but most of us struggle with, which is sitting with yourself. That's where you
definitely.
A small gap, not using your phone, being in nature, not even being with friends, just being on your own.
Yeah, definitely.
Between four walls or outside in nature where you're not using anything. That's really hard to do.
Was it Jordan Peterson who said that? God, here we go again. Somebody said that. I'm assuming it was Jordan Peterson. I'm just going with that assumption. That sit with yourself on your bed one night before going to bed, and be honest.
Sit on your bed before going to bed.
He did not say that. His English is better than mine. All right. As you're laying down in your bed at night, be harshly honest with yourself about one thing that you can change on your life that will make your life better. This doesn't require you to sit in a quietness. This doesn't require to go out in the wilderness.
1 minute of thinking.
It just requires that when you are in bed, put your phone down and close your eyes. Imagine you sitting across the table from you and be like, tell me one thing that I can change about my life right now, right this second, that will make my life better. And you will,
it's a good exercise.
Hey, I'm telling you, there is something that will pop up. Even if it's such a tiny thing, there's something that's going to pop up.
Yeah,
and then
that thing is going to lead to the next.
Exactly, that's your first step.
But that's what I mean by small action.
And then,
you don't need to take this like, you don't need to have a plan. You don't need a plan.
Maybe that first step is going to literally be clearing your fucking room.
And just fuck plans, man. You really don't need, like some people really, we need a plan as a procrastination to doing something. Like,
definitely.
Plans,
hey, you know how much I love to plan and how much I love to organize things.
It's good for something specific, but if you're starting, you don't need a plan.
Let me tell you something based on my life experience so far. I'm someone who went down a certain path at some point in his life, and he thought that this is me. This is the life that I want, and I'm building it right now, and it's going to be amazing. And then a few years later, all right, everything that was happening for the past 5 years, I just took it and it's like, out with you. I don't need you. Out with all of this bullshit that was in my brain. Yeah. So this is going to happen to everyone. Yeah. I'm certain of this.
Especially in your 20s, maybe.
Exactly. Like you're going to, maybe the first harsh truth about something that you can change in your life is going to be something huge, and you're going to change that, all right? And then you're going to walk toward that. At some point in the future, you'll probably realize that, hey, bullshit, I didn't need to change that in the first place. I just had a wrong perspective about it. And that's okay. But you have to take the first step. Like this is something that I guess is really undermined. Mm-hmm. Once you take the first step and then you follow it with many steps as you go, at some point, maybe you will stop and lose the dominoes effect and realize that, okay, wait, I'm on the wrong way.
You're gonna find out what the right way.
Exactly. At least you've gathered a lot of experience and you know how to get started.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean when if you take a bad decision, it might take you to the right decision. But at least you made a conscious decision in that moment and not letting life dictate for you. You curve your own path.
Even Jay Shetty talked about it. Like he posted a reel not long ago when he was like on the wrong train. And it's like it's okay to be on the wrong train, but at the same time you have to know when to get off. And then there's always a next train that's waiting for you that's going to take you back to the right.
But at least it was your decision to be on that train. It
wasn't
a decision made for you. Nobody pushed you and to be on that train.
It's part of the journey. Like even if that train was bad or really horrible, let's say.
It will tell you what not to do in the future.
It will still teach you something. Like you won't go back to ground zero after you get off that train because at least you've learned how to get on the train and how to book a ticket. And you've learned how to get off the train.
That's why even that path is going to teach you something. And you're probably not going to repeat that same mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else to say here?
I think we've covered it pretty much well, and we've added a lot of mixture from outside of the topic.
Yeah.
But
Still.
yeah. Do you have anything else?
Not really. That's it for this one.
Well, thank you for watching,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.